Episode 1280 of the Multifamily Collective. Tonight, I wanted to talk about FGO. FGO, fine, good, okay. There are so many people in the world today, when you ask them the question, how you doing? They say fine, good, okay. The worst thing ever, the biggest catastrophe ever could have just impacted them in some way, shape, or form. And you ask them the question and they tell you, they say back to you, fine, good, okay, or otherwise. It, it's okay in this world today. It's okay in the world today, whether you're in business or you're outside of business, to just say you're not okay. We're all broken. Everyone in the world today is broken in some way, shape, or form. It doesn't matter what day of the week it is, what month of the year it is, or what year of the decade it is. You're broken. You're broken. And it's okay to admit that. It's okay to be authentic about that. But we ask the question, and the response is, we're fine, we're good, we're okay. Or we might say, I would complain, but who would care? Right? Who would dial in if I said I actually had a problem? I love it when I step onto an elevator and I say, how are you doing? And someone says, it's not the best day, or traffic was terrible, or whatever. They might say something aside from fine, good, or okay. And I always respond by saying, at very least, you are honest. You are honest. And that's taking a step toward healing, in my opinion. I think, look, this isn't a message necessarily for multifamily. This is the Multifamily Collective, but it's not necessarily a message for multifamily specifically. It's a message for the world, not that I'm some world expert or some sage advice giver. I'm not. I'm just a guy who's broken, just like everyone else. I'm a guy who has issues, just like everyone else. And my encouragement to you today is, if someone says fine, good, or okay, but their body language is really expressing something different, ask an extra question. Are you sure? Are you sure? I heard a story the other day, and it was just profound to me. And I just truly wish I were dialed into the world this way. It's my hope and my prayer that at some point in my life I get dialed in to this extent. The story was about a guy who had just lost his job, and he and his wife were on hard times, experiencing hard times. And they were about to get behind on their mortgage payments such that they would lose their house. And a gentleman in their neighborhood happened to be jogging by, and something called out to him, a higher power called out to him and said, hey, you need to stop by this guy's house, not even this guy's house. You just need to stop by this house. This house has some sort of negative energy that is putting out into the world, or some sort of cry for help energy it's putting out into the world. So the guy stops. He walks up to the door. He knocks on the door and he says, hey, I know you're in need. Can I come in and talk about it? And the person that opened the door, just humbled by the question, invites the guy in. They have a conversation. He ends up writing him a check to cover the mortgage. Not only that month's mortgage, but the following month's mortgage as well. Now, this audience, we might argue that that is just made up or weird, or how in the world, whatever. You can label it however you want to. I do believe things like that happen in the world, by the way. But that particular individual who was jogging by had this profound calling to go to that door and ask that question, an extra question. In this case, he didn't even know the guy was having a bad day or a bad year or a bad month. He just followed an instinct, and he did it. My encouragement to you today, before we get too prolonged here, if you see the body language, if you're jogging by a house, and you feel the house calling out into the world that there is some sort of distress going on there, follow your instinct, follow your gut, believe the best, and just ask an extra question. You might just save a life. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye.